Now we'll start with the translation. First, we'll learn some important facts about the tRNA, that is the adapter molecule, that is the transfer RNA. Okay. From the very beginning of the proposition of the code, it was clear to Francis Crick that there has to be a mechanism to read the code and also to link into the amino acids, because amino acids have no structural specialties to read the code uniquely. He postulated the presence of an adapter molecule that would on one hand read the code and on the other hand would bind to specific amino acids. The tRNA, then called sRNA, soluble RNA, was known before the genetic code was postulated. However, its role as an adapter molecule was assigned much later. Okay, so the tRNA is also called the sRNA or the soluble RNA. One hand it can read the code and on the other hand it can bind to specific amino acid. So it is called an adapter molecule. Okay. Secondary structure of the tRNA looks like a clover leaf, or you can say that it is inverted L. Actually, the structure is the inverted L, but it also looks like a clover leaf. It consists of 5 arms or loop. The first is the acceptor arm, which binds to the amino acid. You can see in the diagram, this is the acceptor arm. The second is the anticodon loop, having bases complementary to the code. Okay, the anticodon end, see here. Okay, then is the D loop, the T arm, or the D loop, the T arm. Okay, and the variable arm. Here, small one you can see is this is the variable arm. Okay. So this is the structure of the tRNA, that it consists of 5 arm or loops, that is the acceptor arm which binds to the amino acid, the anticodon loop having bases complementary to the code, the D loop, the T arm and the variable arm. Okay. Now specific tRNA for specific amino acid is there. Okay. Example initiator tRNA, that is the OG. You can see here we noted in the previous section that the AUG codon acts as an initiator. Okay, so here you can see in the messenger RNA OG and the initiator transfer RNA for the following. Okay, no tRNA is there for the stop codons. So when we are talking about the tRNA or the adapter molecule, it was also called sRNA, that is the soluble RNA. On one hand it will read the code and on the other hand it will bind to the specific amino acid. For every amino acid there is a specific tRNA. Now secondary structure looks like a clover leaf, but actually it is a inverted L. It has 5 arms, that is the acceptor arm, the anticodon loop, the D loop, the T arm and the variable arm. Okay. Now specific tRNA is there for specific amino acid, like initiator tRNA, the diagram is given here, that is for the methionine, and no tRNA is there for the stop codon. Okay. So now we come to the process, that is the translation. Translation is the process of polymerization of amino acid to form a polypeptide and is called translation. Now sequence of amino acid is defined by sequence of messenger RNA. Okay, all the things that took place in the nucleus were the replication. Now the message to be transferred was coming from the nucleus in the form of messenger RNA. Okay, so the sequence of amino acid which is to be joined and which is now going to form a protein will be given by what? The sequence in the messenger RNA. Okay, now amino acids are joined by a bond which is called peptide bond. Like this is an amino acid and this is the other amino acid. We can say that the amino acid has a acidic end and a basic end. This is given here, and this is joined by this, and this is called the peptide bond, CONH. This is what? This is the peptide bond, and this is formed by removal of a water molecule. Okay, so process of polymerization of amino acids to form a polypeptide is called translation. Now sequence of amino acid is defined by sequence of mRNA. Amino acids are joined by a bond which is called peptide bond, and the example is given here. Okay. Now, what are the raw materials needed for translation? Now, the raw materials are the messenger RNA, the ribosomal RNA, the transfer RNA, and the ribosomes. Okay. Now, messenger RNA will do what? It will bind with the ribosome and act as a template. As we saw in replication, that one strand of the DNA was acting as a template or the reference. The second is the rRNA will act, that is the ribozyme or the ribosome will act as a catalyst for the peptide bond formation. tRNA will act as the adapter molecule, and ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. This ribosome will consist of two subunits, that is the larger subunit and the smaller subunit. Okay. Now, messenger RNA bind with the smaller subunit, and larger subunit contain two sites, that is the A site and the P site. Here you can see this one is the larger subunit and this is the smaller subunit. Okay. Now, there are two sites, that is the P site and the A site in the larger subunit. Okay. So, the raw materials which are needed for the translation are the messenger RNA, rRNA, tRNA, and ribosomes. Okay. mRNA will act as a template, rRNA will do the catalysis, tRNA is adapter molecule, and ribosome will also do the protein synthesis, that is they will be also acting as the catalyst. When we talking about the ribosome, they have two subunits, that is the larger subunit which has two sites, that is A site and P site, and the smaller subunit which will bind with the messenger RNA. Okay, both will bind with the messenger RNA, but the ribosome is having two subunits, that is the larger and the smaller subunit. Now, what is the first phase of translation? Now, first phase of translation is the activation of the amino acid. Now, activation of the amino acid by the process of charging of tRNA or amino acylation of the tRNA. We call it as the process of charging of tRNA or amino acylation of tRNA. In this, what will happen? Amino acid will bind with the transfer RNA, and ATP molecule will be binding with it, and so now it will become amino acyl tRNA, and AMP and inorganic phosphate will be releasing. Okay. So, the first phase of translation is nothing but the activation of the amino acid, where amino acyl tRNA will be formed. Now, when we are talking about the translation unit, it will have a start codon, stop codon, and codes and coding for the polypeptide. Now, the messenger RNA also contains untranslated regions, that is the UTRs, present on both 5' end before the start codon and 3' end after the stop codon. Okay. Now, we'll start with the process of translation. Now, the process of translation consists of three phases, that is initiation, elongation, and termination. Okay. So, here you can see that first phase of the translation is the activation of the amino acid. Okay, so amino acyl tRNA is formed. What all things will come in the translational unit? That is the start codon, stop codon, and codes for polypeptide. Okay, now the process of translation consists of initiation, elongation, and termination, these three processes. Now, when we come to the initiation phase, ribosome will bind with the messenger RNA at the start codon, which is the OG. Okay. Amino acid will join to the initiator tRNA. Initiator amino acyl tRNA will join to the ribosome at the P site. Okay, and another amino acyl tRNA enter into the A site. There is formation of first peptide bond. Okay, so this is the working. You can see here OG is there. OG is the initiator one. Okay, so initiator came, then the blue color or the second transfer RNA is coming with an amino acid, and see here you can see that between 1 and 2 peptide bond is formed. Okay, so they will be coming with the first, they will be coming to the P site, then they will be coming to the A site. Okay, now once all we will revise the phases of translation. The first phase will be the activation of amino acid, in which the activation of amino acid is called charging of the tRNA or the amino acylation of the tRNA. Here the amino acid will be attached with the transfer RNA and one ATP molecule will be utilized, and so amino acyl tRNA will be formed. Okay, now what all things were there in the translation unit? The start codon, the stop codon, and the codons for the polypeptide. Okay, that is the coding of the polypeptide. Now messenger RNA also contain, you have to remember this, also contain untranslated regions, that is UTRs, present at both the 5' and before the start codon and 3' and after the stop codon. Now the process of translation will consist of 3 phases: initiation, elongation, and termination. Okay, so what we saw in the initiation, the ribosome will bind with the messenger RNA at the start codon first, that is the ORG. Amino acid will join to the initiator of the tRNA. Okay, that is simple. Now the initiator amino acyl tRNA will come to the P site. Okay, then it will come to the A site, and then other amino acid will come to the P site, and there will be a bond formation between the 1 and 2. Okay, so this is the P site and this is the A site. Okay, so now it is coming here and the bond is forming here. Okay, now elongation is nothing but the elongation of the polypeptide chain. So ribosome will proceed along the length of the messenger RNA. Ribosome will move from codon to codon along the messenger RNA. Okay, and amino acyl tRNAs will enter into the A site according to the codon of the messenger RNA. Okay, so here you can say that 1 and 2 were formed, then is coming the 3-1, it is also joined, then is coming the 4-1, this will also join. So a chain will be formed, and this will this blue color amino acyl tRNA will come to the other side, then this red color amino acid is coming here with the end, and it is released in this form, and they are released in this form. Okay, see, first we saw that 2 bonds were formed. Now the orange or the red color, see, red color amino acid which was having the 3rd amino acid is coming, and this pink one is releasing. Okay, as bond was formed between the pink and the blue. Okay, then this red one will be coming at this point or this site. Okay, and bond will be formed, and this blue one will be releasing. Now this green one will come at the site of the red one, and then again this green one will be releasing. Okay, so ribosome will proceed along the length of the messenger RNA. The ribosome will move from codon to codon along the messenger RNA, and amino acyl tRNA will enter into the A site according to the codon on the messenger RNA. Okay, now comes the termination. See, here you can see that a specific factor, that is the release factor, will bind to the stop codon. Okay, now ribosome will reach to the stop codon. As soon as there comes a stop codon, we know that there are no tRNA for the stop codon, so the translation will be stopped. The translation will complete, and release of polypeptide chain, that is messenger RNA and ribosome, will be there. Okay, so there is no tRNA for the stop codon. Okay, so this chain is formed, and this is now the polypeptide chain, and after that the ribosome, the larger subunit and the smaller subunit also gets disassociated. Okay, so this was the translation. Once again we will see what were the phases. First, in translation you have to see certain points, or you have to remember certain points which are very important when we see about the translation procedure. Okay, and these points you have to remember. Okay, now these UTRs which were present, you saw, I told you the UTRs were present, and they were giving specificity to the messenger RNA. Okay, and when we are talking about the ribosome consists of structural RNAs and about 80 different proteins. In its inactive state, it exists as two subunits, a large subunit and a small subunit. When the small subunit encounters a messenger RNA, the process of translation of the messenger RNA to protein will begin. Okay, now there are two sites in the large subunit we saw, the A site and the P site, and other thing will be in that form only. Okay, now sometimes the ribosome also acts as a catalyst. Okay, that is the 23 srRNA in bacteria, and it also acts as an enzyme, and it is called ribozyme for the formation of the peptide bond. Okay, so in this way, first we saw that there was charging of the amino acyl tRNA. Okay, and then the translation unit consists of start codon, stop codon, and coding for the polypeptide, and specific UTRs were there. Now, process of translation occurred in three phases, that is initiation, elongation, and termination. So in initiation, the OG tRNA will be there, that is the initiator amino acyl tRNA will join to the ribosome at the P site, and then the initiation will occur. Now in elongation, we saw that the ribosome proceed along the length of the mRNA. The ribosome will move from codon to codon along mRNA, and amino acyl tRNA will enter into the A site according to the codon of the mRNA. Okay, and then we can say that in the termination phase, the release factor will bind to the stop codon. As we know, there are no tRNA for the stop codon. The ribosome will reach the stop codon, and translation will be completed, and there will be release of the polypeptide chain. So finally, you can see here, down here, okay, this is the polypeptide chain. Okay, 1 2 3 4, you can see in color. Now this is the polypeptide chain. So the ribosome, see here, the ribosome is released. Okay, and this here you can see downwards is what is the polypeptide chain. So this was all about the translation of protein.